In this video, we'll take a look at how to use reference angles to evaluate other angles. As we're learning to use reference angles, it's important to note that the values of the trigonometric functions of a given angle theta are the same as the values of the trigonometric functions of the reference angle for that angle, except possibly for the sine. It's also important to note that the function value of the acute reference angle is always positive. However, the same function value for that angle may be positive or negative. So, just to summarize that, the values of the trigonometric functions of a given angle are the same as the values of the trigonometric functions for the reference angle. So knowing this allows us to use reference angles, or easier to find angles, or commonly used angles, to find angles or to find values that may not be so easy to calculate or so readily available. So we're going to use a two-step procedure for using reference angles to evaluate trigonometric functions. So the first step when we are evaluating these functions is going to be to take a look at the angle of interest and determine what you want to find, and you want to figure out which function you're looking at. So am I looking at sine, cosine, tangent, secant, cosecant, or cotangent? What do I want to know? So you want to get those in mind. And the first thing you want to do is find the reference angle, and then you want to find the function value of that reference angle. And by that we mean find the sine, cosine, tangent, whatever it is being asked for the original angle. So find the reference angle, find reference angle for the given angle, and the function so let's say trig function, just to be clear, the trig function for that reference angle. All right, so after you've done that, then we're going to go to step 2, and we're going to use the quadrant that your value lies in. So use the quadrant of your original value, of your original theta, the one you're given in your original problem, the one that you're trying to find the value for, and use that quadrant and determine the sine of your answer, of result. All right, so you have two things to do. You have to find the reference value. Actually, it's 3 things, but we're going to do it in 2 steps. So first thing is going to be to find the reference angle, and then find its trig function, whichever trig function you're working on. And then you're going to determine the quadrant of the original angle and use the sine that your function is in that quadrant to determine the sine of your final value. So let's put this together to kind of make this make more sense, because it's hard to make it make sense when you're not working with actual examples here. So let's use reference angles to find the exact value of the sine of 135. So step 1 is to find the reference angle of sine of 135. So we're going to find that reference angle, the reference angle for 135. All right, so 135 lies in quadrant 2. All right, so 135 is over here. All right, so that means my procedure for my reference angle is going to be, and I need to, if I don't have that written down, if I don't remember, I need to look back at that video and get that written down. My procedure is going to be 180 minus 135. So I'm going to say 180 minus theta to find my reference angle. So I'm going to say 180 minus 135 equals 45. So there's that first thing done. Now I need to find the function value of my reference angle. So find the function value of 45. So what are we talking about here? The trig function value. I'm talking about whatever I'm being asked for right here. So I want to find the sine value of 45. So what I'm looking for is, what is the sine of 45? So the sine of 45, 45 is a common value. So what you want to do is probably have a chart handy. They're all over the internet. They're in your textbook. And if you want to memorize them, you can. These are common values. I just went ahead and pasted one here. This probably looks like the one that's in your book, but you can look one up. You can copy one down. You can just keep one handy. The sine value for 45 degrees is square root 2 over 2. So that value is square root 2 over 2. Now, your original angle is in quadrant 2 right here. The sine value, the sine of the sines in quadrant 2 is positive, so this is going to be a positive value. So we can say that the sine of 135 is positive square root 2 over 2. Okay? All right, let's take a look. Okay, let's use reference angles to find the exact value of the tangent 14 pi over 3. All right, so 14 pi over 3 is going to be a situation where we're going to need to get that angle between 0 and 2 pi, because right now it's larger than 2 pi, and I know that because if I divide 14 by 3, I am going to be at 4 2/3. So if I say 14 divided by 3, I get 4 2/3. So that's much larger than 2 pi. Well, maybe not much larger, but twice as big. So I need to subtract 2 pi until I'm between 0 and 2 pi. Remember we talked about unwinding our circle before we calculate our reference value? It just makes things a little bit easier. There are multiple techniques for doing this. This is just one way. It's the way I think works out a little bit better. So the first thing we're going to do, step 1, is calculate our reference value. So for our technique, we're going to unwind our angle and get it between 0 and 2 pi. So let's subtract 2 pi from 14 pi over 3 in order to get it between 0 and 2 pi. So we're going to have to subtract it 2 times in order to get it to where we need to go. So I know that's going to be 4 pi. So I'm going to subtract 4 pi here, which is 4 pi over 1. So I'm going to get a common denominator here. I'm going to multiply top and bottom times 3. And that's going to give me 12 pi here over 3. So what I'm actually subtracting here is 14 pi over 3 minus 12 pi over 3. So get it all lined up there. So I actually have an angle of 2 pi over 3. That's a little bit better to look at, right? So that's my angle that I'm going to deal with. So that angle is coterminal to 14 pi over 3. That angle also sits, let's see, where does that sit? That angle is going to sit in quadrant 2. It's going to sit over here somewhere. All right, so there's my angle, 2 pi over 3, just so I'll know where I'm sitting. Now what's my reference angle? I need to get that reference angle for 2 pi over 3. So when I'm in quadrant 2, I need to use the formula pi minus my value. So pi minus my theta value when I'm in quadrant 2 gives me my reference angle. So I'm going to say pi minus 2 pi over 3. So I need to get that reference angle. I need to get a common denominator here. So I'm going to multiply pi by 3 over 3, which is going to give me 3 pi over 3 minus 2 pi over 3. So I end up with pi over 3 is my reference angle. All right. So reference angle is pi over 3. Almost there. Seems like a lot of steps. So I'm looking for an exact value of tan of 14 pi over 3. I don't know what that is, but if I can find the tangent of pi over 3, then I'll know what the exact value is of tangent 14 pi over 3 because those two values will be equal. Well, pi over 3 is a common value, and that's an easy one to find. So as I said before, common values are in charts all over the internet. They are in your textbook. No need to memorize them unless you desperately want to. Just print yourself out a chart, copy down a chart, get one for reference. Here's one. I've used a couple of different ones here in this demo just so you can see that they look different, but just because they look different doesn't make anything wrong with them. I've just grabbed a couple of different ones to look at. So I'm going to find in the radians chart here, I'm going to get in the radians column, and I'm going to find pi over 3 because that's what I'm looking for, pi over 3. The tangent value of pi over 3 is square root of 3. So that's the value I want, square root of 3. So tan 14 pi over 3 is equal to square root 3. Now I need to make sure I have my sign correct of square root 3. In quadrant 2, the tangent of any tangent value in quadrant 2 is a negative value. So I need to make my value negative. That's why we go ahead and we figure out what quadrant we're in, because in quadrant 2 tangent values are negative, so I needed to go ahead and make sure I know what I have. So because I'm in quadrant 2, my tangent value is negative, so I need to put my negative sign on my value right here. All right, let's do one more. Let's find the secant of negative pi over 6. This is a negative value, so we're going to add 2 pi in order to get into the positives. In order to get between 0 and 2 pi before we find our reference value. So let's take negative pi over 6 and let's add 2 pi. I need to have a common denominator, so I'm going to multiply by 6 over 6 in order to have that common denominator that I need. So I'm going to have 12 over 6, 12 pi over 6. And what I'm actually going to be adding here is going to be negative pi over 6 plus 12 pi over 6. So that gives me 11 pi, so because I have a negative 1 plus 12, that gives me 11 pi over 6. So now I have a positive value that I can work with. So now I want to find my reference value for 11 pi over 6. So 11 pi over 6 is going to lie in quadrant 4. We're going to be down here. So here's our 11 pi over 6. Again, if you need to review how to sketch these angles, look back at the first video in chapter 4, section 4. We are in quadrant 4, so now we need to get our reference angle. Our reference angle when we are in quadrant 4 is going to be found by subtracting from 2 pi. So 2 pi minus our angle will give us our reference angle. 2 pi minus 11 pi over 6. I need that common denominator, so I'm going to get 12 pi over 6 minus 11 pi over 6, which gives me pi over 6. All right, my reference angle then is pi over 6. So now I have something that's easier to look up. I've given you a different chart here. This one actually has all 6 of my functions on it that you can use. So if you like this chart, that's great. Copy it down or go find one on the internet that looks just like it. They're out there. They're easy to find. So I can find the secant. Let's see, secant is what I'm looking for. I can find the secant value of pi over 6. I just need to find it. I need to find pi over 6 in this little teeny tiny writing. So here's pi over 6 right here. I need to make sure I'm in the right spot. I need to get over here to secant in the right row right here. here's my secant value. My secant value is 2 square roots of 3 over 3. So that is going to be 2 square root 3 over 3. So that tells me then that the secant of negative pi over 6 is equal to 2 square root 3 over 3. So down here, I'm going to ask myself, is the secant value in quadrant 4 positive or negative? Well, in quadrant 4, secant is positive, so I can just leave that as a positive value, and I'm done. So I think one of the best things you can do at this point when you're working on these is find yourself a good chart that you like to use for reference and keep it handy. And I would say just do a quick search on common trigonometric function values and find one that looks like any of these that I have up here. You'll find a good one. They're all over the place.